Hiya! Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Tabby. Guys, I am so excited for this recipe. This might be some of the best bread I have ever put in my mouth, and I am not exaggerating. The flavors, the texture, the lightness of it, it is fluffy and so cram-packed with flavor. I can't even hardly believe it. I did use the B.T.Leigh's Something for Everything, and I also used some bagel, everything bagel seasoning. But you guys are gonna love it. You're gonna wanna make this recipe over and over and over, because I know I do. Absolutely amazing. Easy, simple, throw it together, very hands-off kind of bread. 2 short rises in the oven. You're gonna love it though, and you're gonna have fun while you do it. Let's get cooking. Let's get this dilly bread put together. What do you say? I'm excited for it. So let's get started. So I have warmed up some cottage cheese here. That's kind of the unique ingredient in this. I don't have a microwave obviously, so I just put it on the stove and just let it warm very slowly. You don't want it hot, you just need it warm because you're working with yeast, so you can't put it in there cold. So I warmed it up on the stove, put it in my food processor. I've already blended it up quite a bit. I'm just gonna give it a couple more pulses on puree to get it really well blended. All right, so we're going to take this and put it in our, there it is, put it in our glass bowl. And if there's still some little chunks in there, it's fine, it's not gonna hurt anything. It looks like it blended up pretty good for me though. You could also just put it in a large cup or something like that and use your immersion blender if you wanted. But you know, my immersion blender broke, so my little food processor is getting a lot of work, a lot of a workout. All right, so let's get that cottage cheese in there. Now, this was 1 1/4 cups, 1 cup and 1/4 of a cup of cottage cheese, which was almost a 16-ounce container. I didn't quite use the entire container, but I did have it for a snack, the part that was left. So it did not go to waste. All right, so to that, we are going to add 2 tablespoons of honey. This is my good Amish local honey. I think everybody knows you want to try to get honey that's as close to you as possible, especially if you have allergies like I do. It really helps. And then we're going to add a tablespoon of melted butter. Okay, get all that in there. I'm going to use my whisk and get this little bit off of this spoon. Now I'm going to add 1 egg. Beautiful. So we're going to take a whisk now and we're just going to whisk this up until it's nice and smooth and everything is incorporated. See if I can hold it up here so you guys can see it. Just want to blend that egg in really well, blend the honey in there really well, the butter, get all of that goodness and all of those ingredients really well acquainted. That looks really good. All right. So I'm gonna switch now from my whisk to my large fork. But before I do that, we're gonna add in a few more ingredients. So we have a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 packet of fast rising instant yeast, 2 teaspoons of dried dill, 1, and 2. It calls for a tablespoon of everything bagel seasoning, and I do have that, but I also have the Something for Everything seasoning from B.T.Leigh's. So I'm actually going to do a teaspoon and a half and a teaspoon and a half because 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. So I'm going to mix the 2 together. because I really think that this Something for Everything seasoning with the fennel and the celery seed, I think that's going to be some really good seasoning in there. Okay. Now we're going to take our fork, blend that up a little bit, and we're going to add our flour. We need 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. You're going to be amazed at how little you have to do with this bread. It is very hands-off. And I'm just lightly filling my cup, measuring cup, and then scraping it off. So there's 2, and we need 1/4. There we go. All right, now we're going to use our fork and just give that a good mix. You could use your stand mixer if you wanted to. Totally doable. And this is going to be kind of a shaggy dough or wet dough. So as it starts to come together, then I will take my rings off and I will use my hands to finish putting it together. Ooh, that smells really good. You can smell the dill. I can smell the sesame seeds. I can smell the celery seed. I think those seasonings are going to be perfect in there. So I guess traditionally, this is kind of an Irish bread. I didn't know that, but I found that out recently. And it was time for me to make some more bread, so I thought, why not? Off go the rings. And this is where the fun happens. So I'm just turning that over on itself and then pressing it down onto the dry ingredients that are still left in the bottom of the bowl, just to mix those in. All right, so you can see how that's come off the sides of the bowl really nicely. It is pretty wet, so that's okay for it to stick to your hands a little bit like that. So I did take it out and put it on my cutting board for just a second and just gave it a little bit of a work through, a little bit of kneading there, but that looks great, just like that. All right, got my hands all clean. That took just a minute. So we're gonna take a neutral oil. I've got avocado oil here, and we're just gonna drizzle just a little bit on the top of that. And you wanna just kind of spread that around on there. Put a little bit on the side of the bowl so that as it rises, it won't stick. Give it a little turn in there. That looks great. All right, we're gonna cover this up with some cheesecloth and we're gonna let it rest for 1 hour, and then I will come back and I'll show you what we're gonna do next. All right, are you ready for this? Because I am. This is so pretty. Look at that. Now, it doesn't have to double in size, but you do want it to have some rise to it. So now what we're gonna do is just punch it down a little bit, and we're gonna form it into a nice ball. Just give it a couple of little turns in the bowl. Oh, you guys, that smells so good. All right, form it into a ball. Then we're gonna take some parchment paper, and I'm going to use my beautiful Pyrex bowl. I'm super excited about baking this in here. Put some parchment paper in there, and we're gonna drop that right down in there. Just like that. So you can see, just like that. Now we're gonna let this rest for 30 more minutes. I'm gonna preheat my oven to 350 while that is resting, and then we will score the top, and then we will pop it in the oven. So I will be back in 30 minutes to show you how that works. All right, guys, 30 minutes is up. We're gonna take our cheesecloth off. Oh my word, look at how beautiful that is. All right, so we are going to cut an X in the top of it, And this is just basically giving it the relief cut so that the bread knows where to split. If you didn't put this cut in there, it would find a spot to split on it. Oh, my cameraman is here. It would find a spot to split on its own. And so you want to make sure you tell it where you want it to split so it'll look prettier that way. And you want it to be a pretty deep cut. You don't want to go too light with it because you want it to really spread open. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna put this in a 350-degree oven in my pretty Pyrex bowl. This is gonna be so pretty, you guys. This is what they used to bake them in like a long time ago. They didn't bake them on a baking sheet. They baked them in these round bowls like this. So we're gonna put that in here. All right, I'm gonna set my timer. It's gotta bake for 40 to 50 minutes. So I'm gonna set it for 45. And we will check it at that point. And when it's done, I'll come back and we'll get it out and cut a little slice, put a little bit of some butter on it, spread it with some good butter, and we'll give it a try. You guys, I am so excited about this bread. It's crazy, the smallest things that can just make you so happy. Being in the kitchen, my gosh, it just gives me so much joy. When I make something like this and when you see it, you're gonna be like, wow. At least I think you will. I don't know. I am. I'm like, wow, I made that. But I'm gonna show it to you. I want you to see it. Take a look at this. And I think what I love, but one of the things I love most is that I baked it in that Pyrex bowl and it just looks gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful? In that beautiful bowl, that rooster on there. Of course, I got the bowl because of the rooster. All right, let's take it out of here. I did get it out of the oven a few minutes ago and I've let it kind of sit just for a few minutes. So I'm gonna, ooh, it's very light too. It's not a very heavy bread. We're gonna slide it off onto this. I'm gonna hang on to this parchment paper, remember? That's still a good piece of parchment paper. So I'm not gonna throw that away. Let me move this bowl out of the way. And let's point this camera down so you can see that bread. You guys. Oh my gosh, friends. I cannot believe how beautiful that is. And I love how it's kind of misshapen. It's not a perfect circle. It kind of just took on its own form, whatever it wanted to do. And I just think that is beautiful. And see that nice big relief cut we put on the top? Let's take a peek at the bottom. Let's see what the bottom looks like. Oh yeah, look at that. And it sounds hollow. You guys, I am so excited right now. Hang on, let me grab my butter. I was so excited, I got all my supplies out and forgot the butter. You know, I always keep butter out on my counter, so I always have some softened, salted butter on my counter. And I think if you're gonna have bread like this, you want it to be a nice salted piece of butter that you put on there. So let's just slice a little piece off. Let's see if I can go left-handed. Do you think I can do it left-handed? Oh my goodness, you guys. Look at that. Now that is a beautiful piece of bread. You see the steam coming off of it? It is still piping hot. Oh my gosh. I can see the little sesame seeds poppy seeds. I can see the little poppy seeds in there. My mouth is watering, I'm so excited. Yeah, I can see the poppy seeds, but I can smell the fennel and the celery. That is absolutely beautiful. All right. Just like some good butter, we're gonna spread it around. That really is the best part for me. And I'll tell you a little something funny. You know, growing up, we had a lot of kids in our family and butter was not cheap. And so I never ate butter on my bread growing up. I got married and moved to Brazil with my husband, Dale. We were at a restaurant and he was eating bread and he put butter on it. And I said, I don't think I would like butter on my bread. And he said, have you ever had butter on your bread? I said, no, I never had it. So he took a piece of bread and put a piece of, a nice slather of butter on there and handed it to me. And I took a bite. I've never gone back. I have to have butter on my bread all the time now. If I'm making a tuna fish sandwich, I put a little bit of butter on my bread before I put the tuna fish on there. If I'm having a turkey burger, I put a little bit of butter on there before I put the mayonnaise on there. I love butter on my bread now. So, all right, so let's give this a try. I'm so excited. That crust is absolutely beautiful. I could do a little happy dance. You guys, oh my gosh, that flavor is incredible. I've never had a piece of bread like that before in my life. And it is absolutely amazing. I know I say that a lot, but it is, it's amazing. You guys have got to try this bread. You have got to try this bread. I wanna eat the whole piece, but I don't want to be rude in front of you, so I'm not gonna eat it just yet. But you guys have got to promise me that you're gonna try this recipe. It's outstanding, out of this world. Rocket to the moon. It's really, really good. You're gonna love it. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making this bread. I appreciate you guys so much. I love, love, love having you in my kitchen. And I appreciate you letting me into your home. It's an honor and a privilege, and I really do appreciate it. So remember, if you're watching this on Facebook, make sure you like and comment and spread it around like some good butter. Liking and commenting helps a lot because that lets Facebook know that you're engaging with my page and that you like what you're seeing, and then it will offer it to other people. And we want to be inspiring and uplifting and encouraging to as many people as we can be. So thank you so much for doing that. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and then hit that notification bell, all, so that you never miss a video. And if you're watching on YouTube, hop on over to Facebook and give me a follow. And if you're on Facebook, hop on over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. Also, make sure you visit my website, inthekitchenwithtabby.com. You'll see all of my recipes, or at least a lot of them. I'm still working to populate and get those recipes added, but you will see a lot of the recipes on my website. You'll be able to click jump to recipe, and it will take you to a page just for that particular recipe, and then you can print that out from there, and that way you'll have it, printed out, and you'll never lose it. Trying to think if there's anything else. I know I'm probably leaving something out, but the most important thing I don't want to leave out is for you to remember that Christ is the unseen guest at every dinner table. He is the silent listener at every conversation. So please make sure that your words are edifying and uplifting and pure and sweet like honey, and that you are constantly loving on other people, just shining your light, because that's what we're called to do. God loves you so much, and so do I. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.